Colbert Late Show is reportedly losing CBS $40 million a year as critics speculate politics drove cancellation. I would actually argue the inverse. The only reason the show survived was because of politics, but I should say, I'm sorry, let me clarify that. The only reason the show existed was for politics, but the only reason it is dying is because of politics as well. I would make the argument, as somebody who runs multiple shows, we got a company, we got, 5 different shows. To be fair, 3 are hosted by me, 2 are not. This makes literally no sense as to why you would put $40 million into a guy who every single night just says Donald Trump is bad. And, why?
When Jimmy Kimmel's doing it every night. He's got competition.
I think the fat cats and the bigwigs of these companies, they've got so much money. They don't look at this like a failed business, like any sane person would. They look at it like, I've got $40 million to spend and I hate Trump.
Subsidized propaganda.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's been propaganda for the entire time that, the rest of the media has been propaganda. Colbert was no different than any of the other late show guys. They all had the same message.
I disagree.
Who else was?
Letterman
I'm sorry.
had jokes for everybody.
Current time.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not talking about once Donald Trump entered the public arena as a political entity.
Right.
All of the late shows did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There was no variation in name. There wasn't anyone that was even remotely, like maybe they would mess with Democrats as well as Republicans. It was straight up, we hate Trump.
Yeah.
It was, message from it seemed like it was messaging straight from the Democrat Party.
Look what happened to Jimmy Fallon when he rubbed Trump's hair.
Yeah.
They almost canceled him over that, like humanizing Trump,
Yeah.
They all had to march in lockstep and be equally unfunny.
Yeah, so I mean, I imagine the same, result is going to come for the other, late night hosts.
And it wasn't just the late night hosts too. Saturday Night Live was that too. I mean, people can remember when Saturday Night Live used to be sometimes on both sides of the fence. I mean, they were never conservative, but they just went rabidly anti-Trump.
I think Colbert didn't start the trend of these late night shows doing this. I think Colbert was brought on as all of these companies agreed they would start doing this. And I think it largely has to do with Donald Trump. I think if I was going to make a bet, if I'm looking at some kind of table game at a casino, and I had to put money down on as to what they were doing, it is that executives went to Colbert or went to the producers and said, we want a show that attacks Trump. We want the show. This is the late night. This is the late show. This is the show. Okay? This is what America's watching. It has to be anti-Trump. We can't lose. And so they were willing to spend $40 million a year. Now, the argument is CBS Paramount is shutting it down because of financial reasons, making the argument, not them directly, this is like, I guess sources are leaking this 40 million number, that it wasn't financially logical. It didn't make sense financially. If they never went fervent hyper-partisan, their revenue, their profit, I'm just spitballing 20 million. Because if it cost them 100 million to do the show and they could double their market share, then if they're pulling in 60 million in revenue, you add in double market share advertising rates, and let's just, again, spitballing. They could double the amount of money they're making. So it's $100 million per year to make the show, $120 million in revenue, 20 million profit. Instead, they said, cut the audience in half and only go after and only target people who hate Donald Trump.
Yep. They don't care about the comedy. They don't care about the institution that Letterman started. Letterman did become a political hack, but when he was a host of the show, he was hitting up everybody, as you should when you're doing good comedy. But Colbert was just a figurehead for propaganda, like you're saying. And it's sad because I did like Letterman back in the day. I loved early Conan.
And Letterman had that organic support.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I could see a crowd coming out to support Letterman.
100%.
Just, by virtue of the affection that people had for him. I cannot see a crowd coming out for Colbert.
Colbert's
no way.
Nothing. No. And
200 employees.
For what?
I don't know.
All those anthropomorphized vaccines they had to have him dance with.
They've hired 200 people to wear costumes and then kept them on the whole year.
Dancing syringe number 1, dancing syringe number 2.
10 minutes later, dancing syringe number 197, dancing syringe number 198, and then Stephen Colbert and the camera guy.
I do wonder how many writers the show had.
Probably, I would say 20-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
a writer's room of 20. Maybe.
What was his show even? He did an opening monologue.
Yep, monologue, 3 guests probably.
How many
and a
jokes are
sketch.
on? Like 3 jokes?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch.
Not even
him.
jokes. It's clapter.
But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Lately, it used to be like a 5 to 10 minute monologue of multiple jokes about the day's news.
This is wild. 200 people to run that show.
It makes
And he
no
was
sense.
reportedly getting 15. He was getting paid $15 to $20 million to do this.
It's a joke. That's the best joke of the whole thing.
But Shane, if they offered you, if CBS said, Shane, we want you to host the Late Show, but you have to hate Trump every night, we'll give you $20 million, would you do it?
Absolutely not. No. That's why I joked about Tim Dillon taking over Late Show yesterday. I didn't really mean it because Tim Dillon has a great show right now, and he'd get to CBS and they would tell him he couldn't do anything. But I used to like late night shows growing up because they were not risk averse like they are now. Like they gave Conan, a guy who wrote for Simpsons, no one knew who he was. He wrote for SNL and Simpsons. They gave him the late night show, the Late Late Show or whatever. And no one, like, it was a big risk. And eventually it kicked off and it was great. But now they don't care about it.
Screwed him over.
Well, they kept screwing him over. That was a whole other
I
ordeal.
just watched that video where Norm Macdonald wrote him his with a congratulations letter.
Yeah, I know you'll
He's
have
like-
this forever.
They can never take this away from you. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.